Idaho Falls Pediatrics, proudly supporting kids in our community in 7 Questions with Emmy.
Hey guys, welcome back to 7 Questions with Emmy. Today I'm here talking with Drew Durrant. You're the owner, right? Owner of the Yellowstone Playhouse here. What's your other one called in Utah?
Rattlin D Playhouse.
And Rattlin D Playhouse.
In Hurricane.
And the Yellowstone Playhouse is here in Yellowstone Island Park, and the Rattlin D one is in
Hurricane, Utah, right outside Zion.
Right outside Zion. Hey, I'm wearing a Zion shirt.
Hey, there you go. Look at that.
But yeah, so I am talking with Drew Durrant, the owner, and so you ready to just hop into the questions?
Absolutely.
Okay, question number 1. How do you pick all of the different shows that you do each year?
Oh shoot, we pick them in a lot of different ways. So we'll kind of see what's played well in the past. If audience members are like, hey, you got to do that show again, then we do that show again. Or if it's just something that we've thought about doing for a number of years, a movie that I like or a trilogy that we like we're doing Back to the Future this year, because I like Back to the Future, and so I was like, let's do a show on Back to the Future. Yeah. So it's a little bit what I want to do, and a little bit what the audience wants to do, and a lot bit of what my wife wants me to do.
Question number 2. How do you come up with all of the funny stuff that you perform here?
Okay, we just get together as a cast sometimes, and we'll just be rehearsing. Okay, thanks, Nick. Thanks, Nick. Yeah, thanks. So that bit from tonight's show, the girls were singing Budapest with a ukulele and the cup, tap, 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 the cup thing from Pitch Perfect, right? Well, we were rehearsing that and down south, and Nick and I were just sitting there talking. He started to tap dance during it, and I stopped him, and I was like, nope, we need to have Nick tap dance to that. So some of them, a lot of the really good ideas just come as we're having fun rehearsing, and we're like, we should put that on stage.
Yeah, I did not expect it.
You did not expect
I was just
that.
like listening to it, and I'm like, this is a good song. And then Nick comes out, and then we start laughing so hard.
Yep, it's that shock factor. That's what we try to do. We try to do something that, like, you think it's one thing, and then all of a sudden, bam, it hits you with a different thing, and that tends to be pretty funny.
Me and Mom were saying, I hope Drew comes out in a flame suit next year.
Next year, double flames. Yeah. But I can't tap as well as Nick. Nick went to BYU, Idaho, MDT, like the top musical theater program in the country, and he can tap like I can't tap.
It's okay, that will make it more funny.
More funny, there you go, because people will expect me to be good, and when I'm terrible, they'll think it's funny.
And you can slip over the banana too.
There you go. There you go.
Question number 3. You knew my dad when he was in high school, and you were in high school. Do you have any funny stuff on him?
Oh man, I didn't have funny stuff on your dad. I was like in the choir, and your dad was like, I remember Nate being like student body something or other. Like your dad was the cool kid. Okay, I knew of him, and he was kind to me, but I don't have any dirt on your dad.
Now you guys are really close friends.
Yeah, we are. Yep.
Yeah. What was the first show that Yellowstone Playhouse performed?
The first show that Yellowstone Playhouse performed, so we've had 2 names. We were Max Inn Playhouse, 10 minutes up the road. That was 2008. And our first show was Butch Cassidy and the Sunburnt Kid and Phantom of the Grand Ole Opry. And our first show at this building 5 years ago was The Princeless Bride that you saw and Pirates that you saw.
Yeah.
And then we did a variety show that year.
Yeah. And you're doing Princeless Bride
again this year. You're going to have to come see it. It's pretty good. Will. Okay. We've worked out all the kinks.
There weren't any kinks the first time.
Well, that's kind of you.
Well, I bet it would be even better.
Okay, right on.
It was already super good the first time.
Oh, right on. Whenever you want tickets, you're coming.
How late do you guys have to stay each night after a show?
So after a show, once all the so the actors help serve and seat, and then they perform, and then they do concessions, and then after the show, we have a big room, 280 people to clean up after. So the cast all comes out, and we clean up for about a half an hour. We turn on some music, and the cast gets to go eat food. We're probably out of here by about 10 o'clock. So we start at about 9 in the morning, and we're out here at about 10 o'clock at night.
That's late.
That's a
and
long day, early and late.
Early.
Today we rehearsed this show, and so we were here at 7:30 in the morning, and we did an entire run of the show, and then we set up the room, and we went and took naps, and then we came back and did the show.
I wasn't even up at 7:30.
Yeah, I barely was.
Yeah.
And I wasn't happy.
Yeah. It's pretty late. We're in the car for a long time too, so.
Oh yeah.
We're up at the same time as you guys.
Okay. Right on.
How does like your costume designer come up with the cool designs and stuff?
So my wife actually does the costumes because we're a family theater.
Yeah.
And so we don't have the budget or the money to like hire a real fancy costumer. So we've got our own fancy costumer, and that's my wife. So she'll come up with the idea of, okay, we want Marvin McFry to look like this, or we want this for the variety show. She's the one that picks all of our costumes for all 3 shows. And then we buy them from Etsy, we buy them from eBay, we buy them from Amazon, we get them from wherever we can get costumes. And we just kind of put them all together.
Well, they all will end up looking really good.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you, that's very kind.
Has there ever been a time where you can't stop laughing during a show?
Oh, gosh.
Because something you said is so funny.
Well, there was one time I play Ramona, right?
Yes.
And I'm in a fat suit and I have a rice bra.
I was so happy Ramona
came out tonight, right?
Yeah.
And I've got a wig. Well, our old theater didn't have any AC. So we had like one little wall unit, and it would get really, really hot. So whenever I'd walk off stage, I would take off my wig, and then I would put some ice on my head because I get really hot really quick. And then it was my turn to go back on, and I ran on stage and I forgot my wig. So I was at Ramona, but without a wig, and I didn't even realize it. I went up to an actor and I said my line, and I saw his eyes go up to my head, and then I went like this, and I knew that it was a mistake. The audience knew it was a mistake, and I got a case of the giggles. I couldn't stop laughing. So we stopped the show. I went backstage. I put on my wig. I came back out. I was still laughing.
That's hilarious. That would be funny if it happened. If you guys are going to do Homeschool Musical 3, like next year, the senior year, then you maybe should accidentally do that.
Yeah, sometimes, and then that's a good point, because sometimes when something goes wrong, we go, okay, that wasn't that bad if it goes wrong, because things don't go wrong at our shows, they go funny.
You can improv.
Well, improv and make fun of it, and people know that they're getting an experience that is only happening that night, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, okay, now I have 3 bonus questions. Okay, the first one is, what has been your favorite production that you guys have performed?
That we've performed?
Any theater that you own.
Okay, my favorite show that I've ever performed, I think, would have to be The Princeless Bride. Yeah. We did it last night, and we had the crowd was the loudest we've ever had any crowd in 16 years. It was ridiculous how loud they were. And that's a show that...
In a good way?
Yeah, in a good way. Yeah, they were slapping the table. And that's a show that I wrote. And so I'm a little proud of that. And then to get to...
You should be really proud, not a little proud.
And I performed 3 parts in that show. I'm Prince Dumperhink, and I'm Miracle Max, and I'm Vaccini. And so I have a lot of fun doing that show. That's my favorite show.
Yeah. What has been your most embarrassing moment on stage?
Most embarrassing moment on stage? Oh, shoot. Probably when I walked out without that wig on. I felt pretty foolish.
Then what's your second most embarrassing?
Second most embarrassing? Shoot, I don't get embarrassed very easy. Trying to think when.
Like, has there been a time when your pants rip on stage or something like that?
Okay, there was a time. I came out tonight as Bo Cletus, right?
Yeah.
And my shorts. I had a little malfunction with my shorts that was...
Tonight?
No, not tonight.
Okay.
We fixed it. But down south, I came out and I didn't realize it, and it was pretty embarrassing.
Oh.
So embarrassing I can't even talk about it on film. I can't even.
Once the cameras are off,
I'll tell you.
Okay. The last one. So I'm in the play Frozen. I'm Anna.
Oh, cool.
And do you have any acting advice for me?
Any acting advice? You know, I was taught by Tamara Adams at West Jordan High School that the most important thing in theater is to be heard. And so if people can't hear you, and when you get self-conscious, some people will kind of recoil in, and that's the last thing you want to do.
Cheat out.
You want to cheat out, and you want to be comfortable in your own skin, and just realize that they're here to have a good time, you're here to have a good time, and they're not going to bite you. And so you just do the best that you can, and make sure that you're nice and loud so that they can hear it.
Thank you.
When is your show running?
It's June 30th and July 1st.
Oh, dang it. If we didn't have a show, I would come check that out. In Idaho Falls?
Yeah.
Okay.
I brought this East Idaho News. Well, we brought this
Holy smokes.
for you. And
Thank you.
it's a bunch of East Idaho News swag. And when we come back to watch the other shows this year, we'll bring you 7 questions swag.
Oh, I would love it.
Okay.
I would love it. Thanks for interviewing. It was 5 years ago that you interviewed me the first time, right?
3, I think.
3?
I don't know.
5? 3? I'm getting old. It felt like 5.
It has felt like 5.
And you've interviewed so many people since then. So I'm honored
You're
that
still
you
at
came
the
back.
top of
oh,
the list.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm honored that you came back to interview me again.
We'll always come back. Even if I'm not interviewing you, we're going to still see all of the shows.
Oh, absolutely. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for watching. Remember, new 7 questions interviews are posted every Thursday. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Love you guys. Bye. Idaho Falls Pediatrics, proudly supporting kids in our community, and 7 questions with Emmy.